What's up, brothers and sisters? And even to the video, my name is Elenix, and we are back at again with another video. So guys, I was scrolling through YouTube yesterday, and I was just looking through, and I came across these two videos called "Video Games Aren't Fun Anymore" by STRYXO'S, and "Why Are Video Games No Longer Fun" by JACKUS'S. Sorry if I butcher you guys' names, by the way. But they're about 6 minutes each, and I didn't check them out yesterday, but I wanted to peep them with you guys because I'm very curious. I'm not gonna lie. So let's sit down and let's see what these two have to say, because I'm intrigued.
Video games aren't fun anymore. It's a topic I've seen floated around a lot on the internet in recent years, and even more so since the world shut down. With more time to spend on playing video games than ever before, some people are coming to realize that they don't enjoy playing video games anymore. It's a scary thing to come to terms with, accepting that a hobby you've enjoyed for as long as you can remember suddenly doesn't entertain you anymore. For
I can agree
people,
with that.
It's even more disheartening because
definitely.
they've come to this realization after just managing to get the console or setup of their dreams. Things they strived for years ago are finally tangible and right in front of them, but they just don't have the drive or want to actually do and experience those things. These are things I had to come to terms with throughout the last 2 years. Now, I know what you might be thinking, STRYXO, isn't it a bad idea to try and make a career out of making videos online about video games when you don't enjoy playing them anymore? And yeah, I'd agree. Not exactly the best decision. So let me explain a bit. I've been playing video games for as long as I can remember. I can remember the first time I held a controller in my hands vividly. The sheer size of the Duke, way too massive for me at the time, but all that was just background noise in my head compared to the fresh sights and sounds of what is now my second favorite entry in my favorite franchise ever. Gaming during this time period was limitless. I had no concept of developer or hardware restrictions, the limits of pre-generated responses from NPCs or content in the game to consume. Halo was an infinite universe to create in and experience. Spyro had
Spyro was goated.
Hell, I can remember using an action replay in Pokemon Platinum, using the walk through walls cheat, and accidentally finding Shaman at the end of this long path of flowers. Now, obviously, I grew out of this mindset eventually, especially after reading a bunch of magazines that delved into the specifics of games and interviewed developers on what they thought about their projects. Thank you, Game Informer. But my love for gaming never subsided. I moved on from consoles after getting my first computer, and in 2016, I managed to save up enough money to buy the hardware of my dreams. With this, I could run any game on the market, and I used it to run a lot of
PC
games.
gaming is OD, I will admit.
It was time for me to upgrade. And after managing to walk into a Best Buy and just randomly come across a 3090 that I wasn't even looking to buy at the time, I knew it was time to go all out. I managed to get a 5950X, the best motherboard I could buy at the time, and some sick RAM.
I do want to build me a PC so bad.
To this system.
That's one thing I do want to do.
I built the computer, ran some benchmarks, and then didn't play any games. At first, I assumed I was just unmotivated, or maybe even burnt out. But over time, I came to realize that I just wasn't enjoying games anymore. I got scared. Scared that I spent all of this money on a hobby I wasn't interested in anymore. Scared that the YouTube channel I wanted to start was already dead in the water. Scared that I'd be giving up a huge part of what formed my online identity. I calmed myself down and I took a step back. It makes sense that I'd start feeling this way about gaming. Doing pretty much anything every day for long enough would ultimately become mundane and boring. So I asked myself, what can I do to have fun with playing games again? For a while, I was stumped. But during my time, I decided to just take a break and work on my Ultra Kill video. And while that was technically still gaming, it was mostly for work, and I could take the time to figure out what I wanted to really do about my problem. What I found though is that as I was taking a break from playing games for the most part, my desire to play them started rising again. But once I actually managed to get into a game and started playing, my desire to continue playing them would immediately fall.
You know, that is actually like stupid true, because when you're not playing games, again, when you're not playing games, it's mainly like, okay, you're doing this other thing, and so you're kind of just like relaxing, you're just doing your own thing, and then you're just kind of chilling, you're doing whatever, and then like, let's say schoolwork, for example, like you're just doing schoolwork for who knows how long, and then you get that desire to play it, but then once you start, you probably don't want to do it that much longer, and I can see that. I haven't had that problem personally. I don't know. I'm probably addicted. But I do have a friend who is like that. He loves games, and a lot of the times now he can't even really do much because he's not getting the feel as he used to. And I will admit, I'm pretty sure I had at one point too when I was little. But I don't know. I think now I just got so hooked to the point where it's like there's just so much I can do from it. Because I think maybe this is just me, but I feel like once you find something to entertain you, maybe then there's something, or maybe I just think about things different.
Get off of
I'm
it
crazy.
within 30 minutes. What I came to realize is that I had no variety in what I was playing. I would get on my computer and boot up the same FPS games, or just open up Minecraft, which I've been playing for years as well. I decided to actually take the time.
That is true. If you're playing the same thing, you will eventually get tired.
I've never been happier for it. I realized that what I was experiencing overall wasn't me not finding games fun anymore. I just wasn't finding FPS games as interesting. Throughout 2021, I decided to take the effort to branch out into different video games. And what I learned was that I still enjoyed playing video games.
Cool,
I just needed a breath of fresh air. I played games like Forza Horizon, Monster Hunter, Ghost Runner, spent some time with Spyro, replayed Sonic Generations, Sonic Unleashed, Cities Skylines, Dark Souls, Demon Souls. All of these games made me appreciate just playing games in general and reignited my love for the hobby. This peaked when Halo Infinite was released. For 6 years, I waited for a follow-up to Halo 5.
I've never played a Halo.
Any lore video
I've never played a Halo.
Scoured Reddit posts and Twitter threads that discuss what would happen in this game, and tried keeping up with the game as much as I possibly could. I've already talked about Halo a lot on my channel, so keep my bias in mind, but this game gave me hope for new releases. Did I have issues with Halo Infinite's campaign? Of course, but how good the gameplay was kept me from noticing them as much as I could have. It had been years since I had the feeling of pure joy and excitement that I had when I first played Halo Infinite on release day. And it was then that I realized that my love for gaming was back, the same as it was back then. And what it took was for me to step outside of my comfort zone and try things I would have never thought of. My plan for 2022 is to continue to play games I wouldn't have ever considered before.
I haven't finished Final Fantasy. I haven't
finished. For the people who came to this video looking for a solution, I'm sorry to say I don't have one. I know that growing out of a thing you loved for so long is tough, and the fact that the child version of yourself could look at everything around you and scream about how you're not taking advantage of it is frustrating to know. But it's okay to not want to play video games anymore. No one's forcing you to do so, and I hope that whatever you're doing now can find you some sense of enjoyment. If you still want to play games but don't find yourself interested, all I can do is give you advice that worked for me. Step 1 is to just take a break. I know this sounds a bit sarcastic, but picking up new hobbies or even just engaging in different forms of entertainment can be fun and exciting. When I first picked up watching anime and films, I was almost overwhelmed by the sheer amount of options I had for things people considered timeless classics. Admittedly, I burned through a lot of the list, but I came out the other side with amazing experiences. I mean, have you seen Mob Psycho? This shit goes crazy. After you take a break,
I want to react to that so bad.
Try new experiences. Sometimes
that's like my one thing I want to do.
Spin on a gameplay loop you've experienced 1,000 times over. I appreciate it if you made it to the end of this video. I know this entire thing was a little different from what I usually upload, but I wanted to give an opinion on a topic I've seen recommended to me recently with a positive outcome. Consider clicking on an end screen to watch more of my videos, or subscribe because I'm like 1K away from 30,000.
Oh, I like that. That's sick. Okay. That was sick. That was sick. That was sick. No, I agree with that. I agree with that. Like, literally, I feel like if you're playing the same thing over and over and over again, you're going to get tired of it. And that's just anything in general. If you're playing games, yeah, you're going to get tired of them. Especially if you're playing games every single day. Alright, here we are for the second one. So this is JACKUS'S. Why are video games no longer fun? Alright, let's see what you gotta say, brother. I am very curious. Let's see. I'm curious. Let's see what you got.
Are video games still fun?
Nah, you didn't do that. You did not do the Minecraft. That's crazy.
I don't mean that in the sense of like, is GTA 5 a fun game? It objectively is. Going in as Trevor and going on a rampage still gives me a small rush of serotonin.
I never played the story.
But now the game's been out for 7 years, and a rampage just isn't as fun as it used to be, and I Alt F4 and go back to do something else. That's where I think the main problem is. Not as fun as it used to be. One of my best friends told me on Discord the other day that he was taking a break from Discord and his PC as he found it boring and wouldn't be online as much. At first I was wondering what he meant, then I started to think about what he said, and I ended up agreeing. Let me give you an idea.
Sometimes you just need that break.
How often have you finished school or work and you go and sit by your PC or console and were so ready to have some fun? And then you just sit there for hours waiting for something to happen.
Yeah.
You have games to play, and they're good games. They're just not.
Yo, he did not. He called me out for it. I had that moment where I would just sit there on the console. I'm like, I don't know what to play. And it's like, oh my, this is so contradictory to what I said. But the thing is, that's how I am. I'll look at multiple things. I'll be like, I don't know what to play. But the thing is, once I start playing, I'm good. I don't know where to begin. Oh, he called me out for real.
Most days looking at my desktop with hundreds of games on it, and I spend most of my time just on Chrome, watching Netflix or YouTube. And I don't know why. I want to play these games, and sometimes I even open them, but I never make it further than an hour before I get bored and go back to endlessly scrolling on TikTok. So, I've been rambling about things not being fun. So, what is fun? Fun is a very subjective term. Ask 50 people what they find fun, and you'll get 50 different answers. One may say roller coasters. No! Oh, shit! Another may say getting pegged in the arse. It's very subjective. But I'll throw my 2 cents in, because this is my YouTube channel, and my opinion is the only opinion that truly matters around here. Something is fun when you want to relive the moments again. True. This can be in the form of nostalgia or just going to bed with a grin on your face. I remember a few years ago when me and my friends spent hours playing Team Fortress 2, but not the actual game. Oh, this is Team Fortress?
I've never seen gameplay of this.
I used to play it on a MacBook. I've never
seen gameplay of Team
Fortress.
Fortress.
Play one map because that was the only one that would load on Apple products.
I just never was in.
Life was easier then. I didn't really care about anything at that point. Nostalgia is such a double-edged sword when you get older. On the one hand, it reminds you of good times in the past that you look back on fondly. But on the other hand, it reminds you of good times in the past, and it makes you sad, because you can't have those times again.
I'm around for the first time.
Not saying that there can't be any good times in games nowadays. Me and my friends discovered a game called The Forest.
Let's go! Bought it. Never finished it.
We had the biggest smiles on our faces for days. Building huge bases, fighting off gruesome cannibals, and just generally being idiots.
Can we talk about how the building in that game takes 20 years though?
I highly suggest playing The Forest. It's the most fun I've had with my friends in a long time. But it's still got stale, and now we almost never touch the game, except from when we all say we should play it again. We play it for a day straight and then never again, because it doesn't bring back the memories we used to have.
Me and my buddies in Minecraft.
And that's what the problem is with modern day video games. They don't leave a good enough memory. This is the problem I have with Pokemon. Every time a new Pokemon game would come out, I would buy it. I would never know why, because some of the recent ones aren't even that good. I've recently realised it's because I'm trying to bring back those memories of Diamond and Pearl that I had on my DS as a kid. Not knowing anything about type weaknesses or strategy, and just solely training my starter to a monstrously high level.
Well, like the real life
enemy Pokemon in one hit.
So cool, did it?
But none of them can do that. There's also the fact that we change as people over time. Games will always be just lines of code. But it's the players that change too. I know that's a cringe thing to say, but it is true. I'm not who I was when I was 12 playing TF2 till sunrise. I'm a much older, wiser person. We can't bring back those fun memories because we aren't the same people. It would be lying to say that I'm happier now than I was when I was a kid, playing Overwatch in 2016 with Lewis, raging when we lost and screaming when we won. Video games have provided people with some of the happiest memories anyone could ever ask for.
That is the truth.
But they've not been able to fill the same place that they used to. That's why I think video games just aren't that fun anymore.
I'll say with that. Video games do hit when they hit, But when they don't, it's just like, dang, you aren't doing justice right now. I will say a lot of multiplayer based games are at least where a lot of the content is being in terms of fun, because multiplayer games, personally, this is just me, but personally, I feel like multiplayer games don't lose an edge because there's always fun. They're always fun because you can just do stupid stuff. But single player and all that, like, I mean, it doesn't really matter, to be honest, because it's just games in general. But like, you know, that's the truth. I feel like certain games are losing their edge, and just games in general are losing their edge because you don't have that drive or thrive that you had a long time ago, because games don't live up to what you used to play. And it just depends on the person if it's not hitting the same or not. That's interesting. Those are some good. Those are good. Those were 2 good videos. Holy! I'm glad I chose to react to that, because holy, those are some 2 good videos. I personally think that, yeah, I can see it in terms of like games not becoming as fun. I'll say that in terms of like what I used to do to now is not the same. It's probably worse.